conquest.
Okay.
All the soldiers were mounted on horseback while on a conquest. They often spent years planning campaigns due to the resources and horses needed.
Alright, troops, let's run through the checklist.
Sir, yes, sir.
3 horses each. Check.
Yeah.
Excellent. Now I want to speak with the rep from the light cavalry.
Yes, sir.
Do you have the necessary equipment?
Yes, sir. We are equipped with our short bows, which are the most deadly weapon due to their incredible accuracy.
Can you really hit targets 400 yards away?
Yes. Watch this.
No. Good shot. Now representative from the heavy cavalry.
Sir, we are prepared for any close hand-to-hand combat with our lances and metal armor covering part of our bodies.
Sounds like you're ready to kick some foreign fanny.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, we are.
Now, a representative from the messengers.
Sir, our men are prepared to be tightly banded so they can remain in saddle for long periods of time.
And now a word from our Orcon.
Men, be prepared. Our conquest will be long and difficult. Food will be scarce at times, just as on other conquests. There may be times when you will be forced to drink horse blood. However, fear not, for it will keep you strong and healthy. West of Mongol territory in the city of residence of Samarkand.
Have you heard of what the coming weeks will bring?
Yes, I hear the Mongols are coming.
I've seen them before.
You have?
Yes, I was amazed at their endurance, mobility, and cruelty.
I've heard that they're known for that.
Have you men heard of their leader, Genghis Khan?
Some, but what have you heard?
I have heard that he has trained his men to thirst for death and destruction.
What the woman had heard was true, for he asked the captain one day what his greatest pleasure was, and his response was, hunting with his people in the steppes on a beautiful day with his horse at the gallop. Genghis' response was, nay, the greatest pleasure for a warrior is to trample his foe underfoot, seize his horses and riches, and to hear the wailing of inconsolable women. Genghis Khan felt that the Mongols were to be feared. Genghis attempted to ingrain this thirst for blood into his men, creating fear in their opponents with a key weapon.
Well, if that's how they are, I don't know if I'll fight.
Oh, you better believe I won't be fighting. Their reputation alone is enough to defeat me.
Well, I guess that helps Genghis Khan get one step closer to his goal of world domination.
West of Mongol territory in the city of residence of Samarkand.
Have you heard of what the coming weeks will bring?
Yes, I hear the Mongols are coming.
I've seen them before.
You have?
Yes, I was amazed at their endurance, mobility, and cruelty.
I've heard that they're known for that.
Have you men heard of their leader, Genghis Khan?
Some, but what have you heard?
I have heard that he has trained his men to thirst for death and destruction.
What the woman had heard was true, for he asked the captain one day what his greatest pleasure was, and his response was, hunting with his people in the steppes on a beautiful day with his horse at the gallop. Genghis' response was, nay, the greatest pleasure for a warrior is to trample his foe underfoot, seize his horses and riches, and to hear the wailing of inconsolable women. Genghis Khan felt that the Mongols were to be feared. Genghis attempted to ingrain this thirst for blood into his men, creating fear in their opponents with a key weapon.
Well, if that's how they are, I don't know if I'll fight.
Oh, you better believe I won't be fighting. Their reputation alone is enough to defeat me.
Well, I guess that helps Genghis Khan get one step closer to his goal of world domination.
Assault on China.
The first campaigns were on the Tangut Kingdom of Zaza and the Qin Empire. These attacks forced the Mongols to adapt how they fought because they were now facing fortified cities. They were able to conquer these cities via the help of defecting Chinese officials and artisans who sided with Genghis.
Men, we are now being faced with something we ain't seen before.
So are you referring to being attacked by heathens wielding earrings?
Who?
No, you idiot. He's talking about the fortified cities of the Tangut Kingdom.
Oh yeah, that was my second guess.
Wow. Sure.
Our traditional weapons will not be as effective against the cities.
So what are we to do?
We'll use our own people against them. Gentlemen, may I introduce you to Fu Manchu, who is locally
Men like Fu Manchu were an integral part of the success of the Mongols. When they did conquer these cities, scholars and other valuable people were usually spared, while villagers were slaughtered and cities razed. Towns that surrendered usually were spared, assuming that they would pay a tribute to the Mongols.
Turn to the west.
In the year 1219, the Mongols began to turn farther to the west and invaded the Turkish Empire and sacked major cities.
We are now in the west. Let's continue expanding our empires.
Good call. Now let's continue to fight.
All right. We'll fight.
Almighty and powerful Khan, I've been writing for weeks nonstop with an urgent message for you.
What is your message?
There's a rebellion raging in China and must be put down.
I must return.
Yes, methinks that soundeth like a good idea.
Genghis Khan returned to China to put down the rebellion. Unfortunately, Genghis Khan received a wound that became infected. On August 18, 1227, he died due to the infection. He was then taken home and buried. Prior to this time, this was not done. This was a new practice, as before his time, prominent figures were left where they died to be consumed by animals.
The Golden Horde.
The Mongol Empire was divided amongst his 4 children and his wife. Agadi was elected by the Kurante as the next Khan. Beitu commanded the Golden Horde, which drove westward in 1235.
Come, fellow Mongols, we will now drive westward to Russia and beyond.
We shall now expand even farther, as Genghis Khan would have wanted.
Yes, now onward.
Nice gallery.
We have reached the city of Kiev. What now, fearless leader?
Just as we did in Moscow, we will sack the city and continue westward.
And the Golden Horde did just that. They sacked Kiev just as they had Moscow and continued on to Hungary. They defeated the king of Hungary, however, something changed along the way.
Sir, a report from the heavy cavalry.
Yes.
Large numbers of death are accumulated. With the cold weather coming, it is suggested that we fail to fall back to return when the conditions are more in our favor.
Excellent idea.
And just that happened. The Golden Horde pulled back into southern Russia. When Beitu returned home, he was named Khan. Eventually, the Golden Horde broke up into separate khanates across southern Russia. Jagati held the Khanate of Turkestan, which was controlled by Tamerlane.
Mongols in the Middle East.
Hukalu, the grandson of Genghis Khan, was chosen as Khan and changed his name to Ilkhan.
Now I control the Khanate of Persia.
Sir, might I ask what we will be doing now?
Well, there is no use in sitting here on our rear ends. Our rears are made for sitting on horses so that we may increase our power.
Well, might I suggest that we move westward into what someday will be called Iran and Iraq?
Sounds good. So let's venture out into the Abbasid Caliphate and do what we do best.
And they did. This horde stormed through the Abbasid Caliphate and sentenced the Caliph to death and killed roughly 800,000 other men and women as a result of their resistance to being conquered. In 1243, the Mongols also conquered the Seljuk Turks. The impact of the Mongol invasions upon the Muslim world had a profound impact. There was no central figure in Islam to lead them, and the power of Nestorian Christians grew. People of this region were relieved when finally the Mamelukes defeated the Mongols. The brutality of the Mongols lasted long after their empire crumbled. It is thought that the Mongols westward transmitted one of the most destructive forces of all times. Fleas carrying the bubonic plague most likely were transported by the Mongols to the Middle East and then on to Europe. While the physical presence of the vicious Mongol faded, death and destruction still remained.
Take a bow.
Hey, can we tell them who our names is so we can get credit?
This is
Trey Edgerton.
Clay Richards. Erica Hicks.
Austin Black.
Cameron Harris.
Trey Funderburke. Hey, so look, I want to get a good grade because.
Your name is Scism.
Timmy Hines, fashion designer.
Hey, look at that boy.